Okay, calling the Lakeville Parks Commission meeting to order on Monday, June 15th, 2020 at 6:35 p.m. in accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general laws 30A, subparagraph 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency. The June 15th, 2020 public meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in process, please go to facebook.com/lakecam. You do not need a Facebook account to view this meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at www.lakecam.tv. I will be confirming each member's access here. As a preliminary matter, this is Scott Holmes. I'm the chairman of the Lakeville Parks Commission. Permit me to confirm that all members, staff, and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Commissioners, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mike Nolan.
Oh, aye. I'm here.
Jesse Medford.
Affirmative.
Joe Kasha.
Here.
And I believe Justin Bradley is not here, correct? Correct. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Nellie Woodburn, clerk.
Here.
Thank you. We don't have any anticipated speakers on the agenda, so we will move forward from that. Introduction to the remote meeting. Good evening. This open meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed to encourage and participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely, so as long and reasonably public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Lakeville Parks Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website. For Zoom meetings, please note that the meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything you broadcast may be captured by this recording. Meeting materials. All supporting materials have been provided. Members of this body are available at the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they have concluded their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your computer or phone when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote will be conducted on a roll call vote in this meeting. Okay. Moving on to the agenda. Old business. We don't have any minutes to approve, do we?
No, not this meeting.
Okay. Loon Pond Lodge, SEM updates. Mr. Nolan, do you have anything to present?
Loon Pond Lodge is set up for voting for tomorrow. Spoke with both Lillian and Ted today, and they were doing fine. They had everything they needed. And they are going to do the sanitizing afterwards as well as before. That was a question we had,
Yes.
whether they were going to sanitize the place. So Ted said yes, they would.
Great.
I think not much else going on at Loon Pond Lodge right now, but that's it.
Okay. Well, moving forward, any Ted Williams Camp updates?
Drainage is complete at the karate studio. And thank you, Scott, for making sure that parking lot is totally closed off. And the paving, I believe, is scheduled for second or third week in July. Is that what he told us?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. The drainage project at the soccer parking lot is in process. I did have a little question. I was over there today looking at it, and it's pretty, the ditch, the drainage ditch that they put in, pretty far out into the parking lot. I'm wondering why they couldn't have put it a little bit more closer to what where the police station is. It's I didn't talk to anybody over there. I figured I'd give Franklin a call tomorrow, although it's probably too late. They've already done it. But there was probably a good 10 feet into the it wasn't even like the lawn of the police station. It's before the lawn, just dirt. And I'm wondering why they pushed it all out into the parking lot so much. And that may just be the way that the plans read, but not being an engineer, I didn't know. So I thought I'd call Franklin and ask him.
I wondered the same thing, Mike.
Yeah.
When I drove through yesterday, I saw that it was entirely out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why it wasn't closer to the fence it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be closer to the fence too, and it's probably going to cost us about 30 parking spaces.
Yep.
So, which we don't have to spare.
Yep.
Other than that, at Ted Williams, they're trying to keep up with the mowing. It looks pretty good. We did do some adjustments on the watering schedule. It was starting to brown out already when we had those hot days. So the new fields are being done twice a day, and the soccer fields were increased by, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, and they seem to be greening up pretty good. We're going to talk about fields and courts next, so that's pretty much I have as far as Ted Williams. Oh, that's part of this. Okay, so we opened up the skate park. You put a sign up there saying no more than 10 people, right? And the horseshoes have started their league, and the pickleball has started their league, and we'll get back to them later. Basketball courts are still closed per the town and the governor. We were asked last week to stop the kids from playing. So Ryan zip tied the nets together on Friday, and by Friday afternoon they were unzip tied, and they're playing over there again. I noticed that volleyball did come down over the weekend and did a lot of work. They put up their nets and cleaned up all the sand and everything. But if I'm not mistaken, they can't play yet. Was that they were doing that in anticipation of phase 3?
No, they wanted to start playing.
That's
Okay.
why, Nellie,
No.
that's why I told you to tell them not to put up the nets. Because as soon as those nets go up, they think they can play. They don't have authority to play.
So they're considered a contact sport. They cannot play.
They were not listed with pickleball and tennis.
Okay.
Well, maybe someone from their organization or one of us can get clarification on that. I don't mind giving a call to someone if we can call the Board of Health, Ed, or see if we have a contact for any kind of specific questions like that.
I think
Well, I
we
can
need
do
to
that
go to the
tomorrow.
state.
Huh?
I think we need to go to the state with that.
Okay,
I don't think he's the guy to ask.
okay. All right,
Because
well, we can do that.
both groups thought that they were set to play in phase 2.
What's the other group?
It's the Thunderbirds and the Ted Williams volleyball. They've
Okay.
both reached out and believed that they were part of phase 2 and should be able to play with reaching the smaller number, no more than 10.
Okay.
They were not
well,
identified as a non-contact sport.
Okay, well, we'll have to clarify that tomorrow.
We need clarification from the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get in touch with Nelly tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's all I had for Ted Williams camp.
Okay, as far as field use, I talked to Glenn Tufts tonight. He said he has been reaching out to the board, but has been unsuccessful in getting contact. He said he called a bunch of times. But anyhow, I'm meeting him Wednesday morning. And Nellie, if you could let me know where his contract and money and everything stands. Obviously, he doesn't have the extra items that are needed.
He does
but I don't think
now.
he's ready to play tomorrow either.
He does have the extra items now.
Okay.
But do you want me to scan that all in so you have a copy of everything?
That would be great.
Okay, I'll send you the whole file.
Thank you.
God, who is that?
That's the Giants. Glenn Tufts runs the Giants AAU program out of Bridgewater. They've been playing here for a few years.
Scott, when you say he was trying to,
I'm meeting from him directly on Wednesday morning at the camp. He was pretty upset when I finally got to him.
well, let me ask you a question. Who was he trying to get a hold of?
Us.
He hasn't called me.
Nope, he didn't mention your name. The only one he said he called and sent emails and finally got in touch with Justin. But Justin didn't relay the message that I knew of. Nellie gave me a message on Friday to call him.
Oh. Gotcha.
So they're planning on playing. I just need to know had they paid and what the situation was.
Yes, they have. I don't know if it's going to be the same number of teams that they
Mhm.
initially thought they were going to have in March.
Yeah, no, because he's been scraping to try and find stuff because he thought he wasn't going to be able to play here.
Right. So I still have the check. I did not deposit it because he passed that in just when everything started to go into quarantine.
Yep.
So it was unsure where that was going to go. So I still do have it if we need to return it to him and
Okay.
him submit something else for another price.
Okay. Well, I'll find out Wednesday what he's looking for,
Perfect.
and then we can go from there. I also had a conversation with Jack Taylor from Little League. As he forwarded me a schedule for fields 3, 4, 2, 3, and 6, with possible games starting on the 29th, which would be hopefully after the opening of phase 3. What I guess is scheduled for the 28th. So then I also reached out to him to find out about the Babe Ruth field 4, because we had allowed Kenny to use some of those dates pending conversation with Little League. They're going to be practicing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So then in the conversation with Jack, I will offer Ken Thursday instead of Wednesday, so he can have Tuesday and Thursday right now, if he'd like. Otherwise, he'll have to go to field 1 on Wednesday. And then we will be talking with Glenn on Wednesday to find out what his needs are, and we will work that in. I believe you sent me that other contact. If you could send me that again, I seem to have lost that email. I did get Glenn's number, but the other one was the Rebels.
Rebels. Yes, I can get that for you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I'll reach out to them also and see if they're planning on playing or what their situation is. Other than that, I don't have anything to do with the fields. Just some other business as far as the courts go.
Can I clarify for volleyball? Should I reach out to them and let them know they do not have approval until we get that information back from the state?
Do we have their information? Do we have their plan? Do we have their attestation? Do we have their money?
Not as of yet.
Or they're not
But, like,
supposed to be playing?
Right. I just sent it to John as well, so I was expecting it this week.
Okay. Well, we have to get clarification from the state.
Okay.
If they're considering baseball a contact sport, I would imagine volleyball falls in the same thing.
Okay.
But let's hear from the state, and whatever the state says is fine.
Okay. I'll
The
let
state says
them
they-
know. I'll let them know they can't play until we get verification.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Scott,
Yes.
I'm sorry, just before we get off the courts, there is someone, looks like Mike Leveralt is asking, when will the hoops courts be opening?
When the governor
Not gonna
says
be
we
open
can.
until phase 3, right?
Unfortunately, when the governor says we can, which is projected for the 28th. But if numbers go good, it could be sooner. So there's nothing more I'd like to do than to open up the park 100%. I would love to do that tomorrow. I think we're all in agreement there. This playing field police is for the birds. It's not what I signed up to do. And it's not what I want to do.
Right.
Someone has posed a question about how can there be flag football with kids playing. If that person wants to send another message, where are they playing and what time? Because football is not allowed at present, whether it's uniforms or non-uniforms. So I don't know where they're playing football. I don't know where they're playing flag football. But if they're playing at the camp right now, that's not allowed. It doesn't differentiate. It says football. So that being said, we'll move on to John Pond Park. Mr. Kasha, you have anything to add?
Yes, I do. Tonight, the Mass Drifters started doing drills down at John Pond. They've signed up. They did all the paperwork. I'll be getting the check tomorrow night when I stop down and see them. They're going to be playing 6 days a week. They're not going to be playing Friday. They're on field 3, so there won't be anybody's way. Won't interfere with blooper ball when that comes back. I put the fence up this weekend down field 3. I've got the water on for them today. I've got a porta john coming tomorrow. They were supposed to start tomorrow, but then they changed it to Monday, and I couldn't get the porta john in time, so they'll be dropped off tomorrow morning for everybody. We won't open the bathroom unit until possibly phase 3. I'll start working on that, see if I can get it ready just in case, but right now that still remains closed. Like I said, Drifters there's going to be 7 teams altogether practicing different times. They're using field 3. If it gets too wet, no one else is on the other fields, they can use the other fields. But they should be all set there. Other than that, once again, we're just waiting for the next phase to go before we open up more. And I said, I'll have the check from them, and I'll give it to Nellie this week.
Okay, great. Great. Well, we don't have any Clear Pond Park. Right, Jesse? You got nothing going on?
No, Clear Pond Park's closed.
Yeah, we just got to either get in there and do a mow job or see if Franklin can send his guys in. I don't know. Mike, what do you think? Do you think he might be able?
I can certainly contact him. I contacted him today about doing some stuff for John Pond, and he was no problem at all doing that. Oh, speaking of which, Joe, we should get that money approved if you want to get. One of the things Joe had asked for was to get some stone dropped for the driveway there where it washes out all the time.
Yep.
And Franklin told me it probably costs about $200 for that mix that they use.
The field mix.
Well,
I
not
mean,
field
the
mix,
stone
it's,
dust.
yeah,
The stone
stone dust mix. And he said, of course, they'll spread it, but, you
Mike,
wanna,
does it have to be the stone dust? I was hoping for maybe a little, just a larger size stone for that driveway.
it's not stone dust,
Okay.
it's a mix. It's
Okay.
yeah, it'd be similar probably to that, where the pad is that we have for the
Okay.
bathrooms. That's a
Okay.
good mix. It packs down really well.
Okay, because I was gonna talk about that in new business, but yeah, it's, I can bring it up then if you want, make a motion for the $200 for that if you want at that time.
Second,
Didn't we, excuse me, but didn't we already okay that mix before when Joe asked for it before? I thought we okayed it back then. Sorry, we can do it again. It's fine.
I thought we tabled it until later,
Okay.
and this is later
fine.
now.
That's fine. I heard Joe make a motion and I heard Mike second it. Do we have any further discussion? Jesse? Joe? Mike?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All those in favor? Joe Kasha?
I
Mike Nolan?
aye.
Jesse Medford?
Aye.
Unanimous decision. Thank you, gentlemen.
Just
Okay, I'll let Franklin know, Joe.
All right. Also, Mike, thank you. I saw the picnic tables were dropped off today. Thank you very much.
Don't thank me. It was Franklin.
All right. No,
I just
thank
made a
you
phone call.
Thank you for me. I'll move them down there. And those other things too, those barrels, if we can get those this week, that'd be nice.
I talked to Bobby today. He was pretty busy over at the park at Ted Williams today, but he said he would get a couple of them over there for you.
No problem. Thanks.
Okay. Any other old business to review that we didn't just cover? Mike Nolan?
I don't think I have anything else. Oh, all of the water is back on at Ted Williams.
Great.
They repaired all the pipes that either got dug up or broken. So we have water for all our irrigation systems and all our buildings.
Fantastic.
Yep. Thanks again to to the highway department.
Thank you, Franklin, and the rest of the highway department. Thank you. Joe, do you have anything to add for old business?
Not that I recall. No, I think I'm thinking we're all set.
Jesse, do you have anything to add under old business?
Nope. Nothing to add.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Nellie, do you have any correspondence?
The only correspondence what I forwarded to everybody today. Did you get it?
I don't know.
In terms of the tennis courts?
Oh, I replied to her.
Oh, you did?
I replied directly to her.
Oh, I
And
did
I told
too.
her that pickleball did not have permission to do that. And they did it last year and didn't have permission to do it. And we asked them to fix it last year and they refused. So it was done without our permission. I told her that. I didn't hear back from her after that.
Scott, I actually called her this afternoon myself. I didn't realize you had already talked to her.
That's
Well,
okay.
my question for her was she a Lakeville resident?
Yes, she is.
And her children are, yes, and she and her children are Lakeville residents. Her kids
Yep.
play tennis at Apponequet. So I just wanted to, I'm sure this is all going to come up in our discussion in a minute, but I wanted to make sure that my opinion is to, make sure that the Lakeville residents are listened to and responded to.
Absolutely. That's why I sent her back an email probably 5 minutes after Nellie sent me that one. I stopped what I was doing and I responded to her.
Yeah.
I'm glad you called her though. That's great. The more the merrier.
Yeah. Did you post this email from her, Nellie?
I did not get a chance. It came in so much later.
Okay.
I thought
Can
that
we
was
read it?
attached. I thought that was attached to the documents you put up there, Nellie. No?
What I got attached was the photos of the courts, but this came in after, and I did not get a chance to do that.
Okay. I thought it
I
was
can I can update it right now.
Well, would you like me to read it, Scott?
Sure.
I have it right here in front of me. You want me to read it, Joe?
Go ahead.
It says, "Good afternoon, Parks Commission. This morning I received the email about the Parks Commission meeting tonight with a letter from Lakeville Pickleball. I was surprised that a league would take on the resurfacing of the tennis courts on their own. After receiving the email this morning, my daughter and I went to play tennis at Ted Williams camp. When we arrived, we were shocked and disappointed, especially since I believe the governor opened tennis courts for singles play only. And there looked like there was a pickleball tournament going on, having 8 people on each court. Although the tennis nets were up, the end court had no people playing, but each court was painted with pickleball lines with nets on either side, which means there was no place for them to play. My questions are, why are all the tennis courts turned into pickleball courts? There are 3 tennis courts. For the worst case scenario, why aren't the courts split, 2 for tennis and 1 for pickleball? At best, all of the equipment is carried over and sent up to the tennis courts anyway, so why can't the courts be painted in an area of the parking lot that gets sectioned off when they're playing? I'm not sure exactly what that means, but do we need to make reservations to use the tennis courts? How and where do we do that? Is there a pickleball tournament scheduled somewhere so we know when the courts are not available? Was the tennis courts being changed into pickleball courts approved by the Parks Commission? Can they be changed back? Will the cost of that be funded by the Lakeville Pickleball? Thank you so much. We have been playing tennis on those courts for many years. My kids are both on the Apponequet tennis team because they played most of their childhood on those courts. I'm sure you understand our frustration at seeing them disappear. We've been playing tennis next to pickleball players over the last few years, and that has been just fine. However, the tennis lines seem to get fainter, almost disappearing, while the pickleball lines get brighter and on more courts. Thank you again for and we'll be awaiting your response.
I just got a quick question in that, and maybe you guys would know. I have not seen these courts this year yet. Did somebody paint on that court number 1 pickleball lines again? Is that what's happening?
They did.
2 courts.
They did.
They painted a court on each side over what was left of the tennis lines after they were specifically told last year that they could only use the 2nd and 3rd court. Nellie, my question to you is, I haven't seen a schedule for pickleball. I would like to see a schedule because last year they had too many days. They had 4 days, and for the amount that they were getting charged, that was peanuts.
I do believe they wrote it in on their documentation. Hold on one second. I'm checking.
Not only that, they were told last year that they only were to use 2 courts and not to touch the 1st court, and they did it anyhow.
It's
So
on their contract this year. Courts 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, right now I'm doing the scheduling, and I haven't seen that contract, and I haven't seen the schedule. So,
The schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 8 to 12, and then Wednesday and Friday evening, 6 to dusk, which is, they're noting it's the same as the prior year.
well, 4 days for $15 is peanuts. If they're going to play $4, 4 days, then in my view, they're paying the full $20 a piece, period. But that's up to this board to decide.
Scott, was there any question them not paying the 20? The fee is $20 for 2020.
Well, they've requested a reduced waiver.
All right, but now, I mean, the fee is supposed to be $20 for everybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, once again, I don't know what action we're going to take, but if they painted this again, and we've had this has been a year now, they're not supposed to be doing it. What's the repercussions here? Do we not let them play at all? I mean, what if they wanted to take a fence down? I mean, what are they going to stop here? I mean, we have rules for a reason. We
Yep.
have to accommodate tennis. And now someone's going to repaint that court.
And I'm going to ask them again to do it.
Scott, can I interject something here as well?
Yep. Go right ahead.
The contract for them is for 2 courts. Is that correct, Nellie?
Yes.
2 courts. So today, they already went above and beyond their contract by setting up nets on all 3 courts. Did you guys all get the pictures that I sent? We sent out of the courts?
Yes.
Okay, if you look, you'll see that there is courts 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the ones that say 5 and 6, that's actually tennis court number 1. And you can see that they did fill the crack and they did paint the whole thing.
Yeah. To make a quick question though, I mean, I respect it when you fill a crack and you fill the whole crack and they stopped.
That was that's my next point, Joe. That's my next point. That the request by them says that they went out and spent $500 to have these cracks filled, and they filled them to the edge of the pickleball and left the rest of it, which doesn't help us really at all. Helps them. I'm sorry, but and when they asked if they could do that, I assumed that they were going to fill the whole crack, and they didn't say anything about getting a reduced thing or paying any money for it or anything else. So it's a mess over there. We really need to speed up this process of getting those things redone if we can. I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, last year, you authorized me to go and buy paint for resurfacing the tennis court. If that's the case, I'm going to order the paint and the rollers, and I'll do it myself if I have to. It's going to cost thousands of dollars to have someone come in and do it.
Well, don't we have in our capital expenditures, and I know I say that it's on our, yes, it is. It's definitely in our plan.
Oh, in our plan? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
I
keeps
know
getting
we don't
pushed
have
out.
money, Scott.
It keeps getting
You have to
pushed
tell
out.
me that. I'm just telling you, but it's in our plan to have these things resurfaced. It's
Right. And it was in our plan to have it done 2 years ago, and it keeps getting pushed out is what I'm saying.
Oh. Well, that's my point. That's where I was coming from. I mean, this year is crazy, but I think it's got to go up to the front burner at this point.
I agree.
But the lady who said, the lines are, if you can see by these pictures, that the lines for tennis are almost gone, and also where they put these pickleball green areas, I don't know whether they call that or whatever, you can no longer see the where the service
Right.
tennis, you have a service square, you can't see them.
The decision last year,
all 3 courts not usable.
the decision last year by this board was to allow them to repaint the court closest to the senior center entirely for pickleball. The second court, the middle court, was supposed to be dashed with pickleball lines so that it would overlap the tennis court and you would be able to see both, say with a different color, but it was supposed to be dashed. And the closest one to the camp, which we call court 1, was not supposed to be touched at all. They did it last year, and here they went and did it again. So what are we going to do?
I thought somebody from pickleball was going to be joining us for this meeting.
She was, but she is away, and she was unsure if it would fit in her schedule today.
Okay.
Once again, I'd be in favor of locking those things down. To have no one use them till these things are fixed.
Well, then what about all the people who want to play tennis?
Well, they ruined it for those people then. That's the problem. And once again, I mean, the job I'm looking at right now, I think it's terrible. And they were told to stay off that court. They didn't. Then we don't play them. They're not allowed to play. They know better. Until something else happens, have them fast track a plan to get this thing painted. That'd be the quickest way to get them going, is for them to have someone paint it. And get it back to tennis court number 1, the way we wanted it, and then we reconsider having them play.
The court's got to be repaired first.
Yeah.
Because the crack is
The rest of the court, yeah.
on the tennis court
And,
itself.
and I think you said earlier, Scott, that the agreement was court 1 was going to be tennis only, and court 2 was going to be a combo
Correct.
of both. And then we gave them court 3 to be just pickleball.
So
And
they
I
could
think
put
that
2
would be
courts in.
just, yeah, that would be just fine with anybody who wants to play tennis.
Right.
It
Yep,
really,
that was what we said last year. And they're obviously not listening to what we say. They're doing what they want to do.
well, when I went over there the Sunday that they were doing this cleanup and the work, and I said to, I can't think of the fellow's name. He's been there, the fellow that's been there forever there.
Mr. Hall?
Yeah. And I said, are you just doing this one and that one, the first 2, which would be 2 and 3. And he said, no, we're doing the last one. And I said, no, you're only renting 2. And he said, oh no, we're going to social distance. So I thought he meant they were going to use field 1 and 3 in social distance. And I guess I got that wrong. I misunderstood him, but I went back the next day and all 3 of them were painted and partially fixed.
Yep.
Did everybody see the photos? Because I can share them on here if you guys haven't seen them.
I've seen them.
Okay.
I'm looking at them right now.
Mhm.
And, I could drive by and I saw all the bright green, so I knew what had been done anyhow. I didn't have to get out and look. Well, we've got to make a decision. Any suggestions?
I would make a motion that we, first of all, we deny any reduction in price. Everybody else was paying the full price. And I don't see any reason why we should reduce it from $20.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Joe?
Nope. I
Mike?
agree.
No?
Jesse? Okay. All those in favor of keeping the 2020 price at $20 a head, please respond in the affirmative. Joe?
Yes.
Mike Nolan?
Aye.
Jesse Medford?
Aye.
That's unanimous decision.
Okay, now
so
as far
amend-
as repairing the courts to put them back to the way they were supposed to be, if they're contractors for 2 courts, they need to be on 2 courts, not on 3 courts.
Correct.
So what can we do about that?
We can remind them, and we can ask them when they will be repainting court 1 and taking the pickleball off. And then when that answer is given, we can make a decision.
Now, we'll also have to do the painting of court 2, right? Needs both on there. I don't know if
Technically,
needs
yes.
which one's 2. But
Technically, you're right.
So they got to fix 1 to make it tennis, 2 make it a dual purpose court. Correct?
Correct. You are correct. When's the next night they're supposed to be playing? Nellie?
What's tonight? Monday? It should be Wednesday. Hold on, I'm double checking. Sorry, I just gotten out of that. Wednesday, 8 a.m. to noon or 6 p.m. to dusk.
Well, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. Meeting with Mr.
They
Tufts.
play twice on Wednesday?
And Fridays.
Twice on Wednesdays?
And Fridays.
Twice on Fridays?
And they were
Once
there
on
today.
Mondays?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to noon. And then they have Wednesday, Friday, 6 to dusk. And then Saturday, 8 to noon.
That's too much time.
That's six games.
That's too much.
Yeah, we need, Scott, I would submit that we need to get someone in here to talk about this.
Yep.
They're complaining about paying $20 for 6 different time slots. And is it for a 3-month period? Are we going to get, when they do it in the fall again, we're going to get another contract with them?
Historically, we don't get a second contract from them.
So
Well,
what's
I
the
thought-
time frame on that current contract then? From now till when?
It should be the end of the summer.
That what it says, Nellie?
Great.
None of our contracts give an expiration date.
Well, if we put a
Soccer
time.
plays a season. Baseball plays a season. So these other groups are paying $20 and playing all year. That's not fair to the kids. We got to get a hold of this scheduling, big time. I thought it was supposed to be done by the season.
Nellie, do we also have a roster of these supposedly 15 people?
No,
Okay. I thought that was part of the whole thing is we needed a roster.
It is.
Okay.
it is on the contract, but there are several groups who do not provide us a roster.
Okay. I would be interested to find out how many of these folks live in Lakeville.
Me too.
Yeah. I think it may be trying to walk things back, put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point, but we need to get somebody in here and reevaluate this whole system, or go with what Joe says and just shut them out and say, here's your money back. This is for tennis courts for Lakeville residents.
How much did she give us? $225.
300.
So
That's
$300.
15 players.
They're up to 20, you said, right? So it should be an extra $100 coming in. It should be a $400, correct?
15 players. They don't need any more than 2 courts, do they?
But their contract was for 15 to 20 players.
That's what it states.
So it should be $400, and still, I don't know how many courts. Yeah, they only have 2 courts. That's all they can use. They have to
That's
make
all they
do.
were given.
Oh, Nellie, quick question for you. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't have the Ted Williams contract, but the one I have on John Pond that I modified, I do have an end date on mine, a start date and an end date. If not, we might want to add that to the contract you're using at Ted Williams going forward.
I think it's a good idea. These are basic contracts that I worked off of. If we want to get it more organized, we should have a month start and end for each season.
And I think we should have customized contracts for different sports. I think we definitely need that. One size does not fit all here, so I think
No,
we can take away I think we have to do.
They were customized to some extent.
Yeah.
In prior years. They all have modifications to them. They're not just one. They're similar, but they're not one size fits all.
Right, like the AAU is different than, say, soccer.
Correct.
So that
Hey, Scott?
customization has come in, but we haven't put in a season begin or end date, but I'm in agreement. It would be better organized if we did it in that manner.
Hey,
Well,
Scott,
yes, Mike.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Nope.
Franklin just called me to ask me if we needed him in our meeting. Does anybody need him to join us for anything?
I didn't know if there was anything he wanted to add on the status of the drainage.
Okay. All right, I'll tell him to go ahead and join us then.
And he can give us a 5-minute thing and say, see you
Okay.
later.
Okay, I'll go text him right now.
Okay, great. Let's see. While he's doing that, does anybody have any other new business? Joe?
No.
Jesse?
Nope.
Mr. Nolan?
No, sir.
Nellie, do you have anything else for us?
I don't think so, other than my little bit. Do you want me to go into my little bit?
Sure, while we're waiting to hear from Franklin, sure, go right ahead.
Sure. Okay, great. So I'm currently moving the office from Town Hall, from the luxury of Town Hall over to the Ted Williams Camp office. Starting to move some stuff around. In the move, I have found that the phone at Ted Williams Camp did not work. It was broken. So I've taken the phone from my old office in Town Hall to at least have a phone at Ted Williams Camp. So just in case some phone calls perhaps did not come through, but that number was really for the Loon Pond Lodge more than it was for me.
Right, that's what I was trying to get from Mr. Tufts as to what number was he calling.
He
If he was
did
calling
leave
the
me a
1100
couple of
number.
messages. Yeah, he
Huh?
left me a couple of messages, and just with quarantine and homeschooling, I did not get back to him right away.
Well, there wasn't much
So-
going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the fields were closed. It didn't seem quite on the most important thing. Now that the fields are open, I did contact him too before you contacted him, Scott, and just discussed everything.
Yep.
So that's what's going on with that for right now. I'm moving everything in there. My suggestion might be, right now there's a drop area at Town Hall for people to drop off things. We may want to think about some sort of drop mailbox for Ted Williams Camp for payments and contracts and things that is locked and we can get into ourselves.
Yep, we briefly talked about that. My thought on that was that we put a mail slot in the side door rather than the front door. And then whether or not we attach a box to it or not, at least it's going to come into our office and it's not going to be right there on the floor as you walk in, you know?
Right.
I think eventually probably be a good idea to put some type of a box, you know, so if somebody puts some type of, private material in there, it'll stay private and not being able to be read by anybody who has a key to get into the building. But I think that would be a start, and, we can label it, and make it big enough that they can fit envelopes in. And we can have them drop the stuff right there, and we can label the outside of it, Parks Commission drop box, that was my thought. I mean, that's probably a pretty inexpensive way to do it. Cut a slot in the door, although that's probably a metal door with my luck.
I don't know.
And put a mail slot in there. Unless anybody has any other ideas, rather than leaving it outside. I mean, if we did it outside, I think that we definitely have to have a box, but then we'd have to attach it to the building somehow. And with people not being there most of the day, I'm just leery of something happening to it. This way, if they slide it into the door, it's at least in our office. Does anybody have any other thoughts about that? Joe?
I think it's a good idea. I'd go with the slot in the door. Good idea.
Jesse?
Slot's good.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I would, sorry about that. I would label the buildings so people know that's our office as well.
Yep, we should expand the sign out front instead of just saying office.
Yep.
To say Park Commission office. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. I know a lot of people will question the fact, what's that building for? That office sign has been there forever. That's a Ted Williams Camp sign. So maybe we should come up with a new sign that we can put out there that says Lakeville Parks Commission. If the board wants to, let's do two things at one here. The second thing is, it sounds like we need to buy a phone. Okay. So if the board wants to give me an allotment, I can go over to Home Depot. I have the charge card and can pick up a mail slot and a phone. and maybe a sign or something. I'll see what they have. I also have to get no trespassing signs. I've already been informed. Someone posted themselves swimming at Clear Pond. So we need to post some no trespassing signs there. And we also need to post some no swimming signs at Ted Williams Camp, as someone saw some of our Lakeville youth walking out with towels on. So that being said, with Clear Pond closed, we're going to have problems in both places. Nellie, any of these expenses that we do that are anything to do with COVID related, which those signs are, because we're closing because of COVID, they will be entitled for reimbursement. So you need to label those expenses to the town accountant, and maybe give Maureen a list of anything that we do spend for this going
Okay.
forward. Okay.
Okay.
Because that they are doing a reimbursement program, but they're not really helping us entirely. It's not a lost revenue program, which is where we really could score, but we can't.
Hey, Scott, just one quick one. A mail slot on the wall next to the door might be easier than putting it in the door. Just something to think about. Maybe it's easier to install that way.
Okay,
Side there.
we'll look at it. Yeah, yep. Yeah, whatever works. I mean,
Yep.
whatever's easiest, I'm all for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even if it's towards the storage side,
Yep.
that'd be fine too.
Yeah, that might be easier. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. As long as we don't hit with my luck, I'd hit electrical wires.
The new ones.
So if you guys would like to make a motion to give me an allotment to go spend for these items, some signs in the Dropbox or the slot and a phone, I can shoot over to Home Depot between now and the weekend and try and pick some of this up.
What are you guys thinking that would cost? Something under 200? Is that the right amount?
Sounds good to me. I should be able to keep it under that.
Yep.
So
All right,
somebody wants to make a motion?
A motion that we allot you up to $200 to make the mentioned purchases for the Park Commission.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Joe? Mike?
Nope.
Jesse?
Nope.
All those in favor? Joe?
Both of them. Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. So I will try
But
to.
we're still trying to get Franklin hooked up here.
Okay. No, if he can't make it, that's okay. It was just,
Well, no,
I thought maybe he could give us an update on what's happening. That's all.
no, it's okay. We're also he should be coming on soon because they're emailing him the contact. So
Oh, great. Okay. I drove through this morning and it appears Ryan had re-zip tied, but this time zip tied the nets to the hoops. So we'll see how that goes. I think the next thing, if that doesn't happen, we've got some chain left over from the when we locked up the gates to the skate park. And maybe we can put a piece of chain across it. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to take down the hoops. Not that I want to, but we have to abide by the governor and the town hall. So, do we have Franklin or?
I have no contact information for Franklin. Can someone please take copy from the chat and send him that link, or send him the invitation I posted, or send him the meeting ID and password I posted on the chat?
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you.
Scott, do I have permission to just go ahead and put it up on Facebook that the basketball courts are closed?
They are still closed, pending the opening of phase 3 per the governor's order. Unfortunately. Believe me, people, there's nothing more I'd like to do than say, go play. So, In that case, we've also got to talk to Nate before wintertime comes to try to secure a better heating system than what's in that office. That's
Yes.
currently electric, and it will kill us.
Yes.
When it was turned up to 60, the electric bill jumped hundreds of dollars in the wintertime until I cut it down to 45. I don't think Nellie wants to work in 45-degree weather. So we've got to figure something out. Maybe we can talk to Nate and see if there's something available. Is that Franklin? Is he here? No.
Yeah, Franklin's here.
It's
Oh,
here.
he is. Hi, Franklin.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for jumping into our meeting.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so it's a little.
No problem. No problem. I guess we were just wondering if you could give us any updates on the drainage for the rest of the guys.
Yeah. So Clancy's all done. He, I think he did a really good job. I was impressed with Clancy's work for sure. And we got that big rainstorm too, where we got dumped on, and we went by there shortly after. There was no water puddled at all. And the next day it was completely dry. So
Yep.
that was the best part right there. And it's still on track right now for the week of July 13th, for pavement there.
Great.
So that should work out well. And then Shaw's in there. He's moving right along. He's already got most of the drainage swale dug out. I don't think it's going to take him much time at all. I think his biggest, hardship over there is just going to be getting a good grade.
Right.
Because-
So he's gonna grade it down to that. Is that what the plan is?
Yeah. And there's a lot of rough material in there, so that might take him a little while. But he has a lot of stone there right now left over from that road project, which worked out great. So it's kind of like some free material over there. And then I'm going to be trucking in some processed material for him. So he'll be in good shape.
Great. Good to hear. I'm gonna address the members and see if they have any questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Joe Kasha, do you have anything you'd like to ask Franklin on the two jobs?
On the drainage jobs, no problem there.
Okay. Is there something else you'd like to?
No, I just, Frank, we just approved the stone for John Pond. I know you
Okay.
said you'd be able to drop it and spread it, so we can work on logistics, but we approved the funding for that.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Mike Nolan, do you have any questions for Franklin?
Yeah, Frank, on that stone, do you want to go ahead and order it, or should we order it?
No, I'll get it.
Okay, just have it billed to the Parks Commission.
Yeah, 'cause
I did have one question, Frank, about the soccer parking lot. You know, the one that they're doing now?
Yeah.
The location of that, what do you call it, the swale or the drain there?
Yeah.
It seems like it's out into the parking lot quite a bit. And there's a lot more room that we could have gone farther. I know it's too late now, but was he like just going strictly by the plans, or?
Yeah. He's going
yeah.
by. I had him cut it a little bit back as you pull in to the parking lot there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's going by the plans, and the engineer there came out and gave him the benchmarks and all that.
Okay, so there was no choice there. Okay, I'm just looking. There's a lot of dirt, before you get to the police station, grass. I was thinking it would be back farther. We're going to lose I figure about 30 or 35 parking spaces there. But what are you going to do? It needs to be done.
I drew it up there, and we did cut it a little bit, but I would hate to cut it too much and then end up having ponding there.
Okay.
Because that would create other issues. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I know exactly what you're saying, and it does jet from. If you're coming towards the road there, it does jet out a little ways, but that's where the main drainage area is. So it's just how it was drawn up by the engineers.
Okay. Well, those parking lots will be dry for 100 years.
Um, especially right at the end there, you know, cars coming and going and maybe cutting that corner a little sharp. Is there any way that we could, you know, berm that up just a little bit?
Yeah, he's going to use what he's going to do for just for now. He's going to use an earthen berm with cuts in it.
Okay.
And then I know you guys have some telephone poles. We have telephone poles too, but the thought there is, especially at least at that corner, almost to put in somewhat like the police station has, obviously not with that type of material, just with telephone poles, but put the post with a beam across, some reflectors on it, right at that entrance area. So that way we don't have anybody drive.
Drive it right into it.
Yeah, that'll be more of probably like a fall thing to do there. But
Okay.
either way, safe for till then. So we'll make sure it's safe.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Jesse, do you have anything you want to add or ask?
No, I've got nothing.
Okay. Well,
Hey,
Franklin,
Scott, one question.
oh, go ahead, Joe.
Scott, excuse me. Sorry about that. I thought we mentioned earlier, I thought we were going to ask Franklin about Clear Pond by cutting that, or what we can do.
Oh.
Was that something?
Oh,
I forget what that
No.
was, but
yeah, Franklin, we didn't know if there was by any chance somebody might be able to just get in there and cut the grass back. I mean, you know, I know there's a push mower over there. I can get out and cut some of that tall grass back, but I'm just afraid if we wait till and don't do anything at all, it's going to become a monster over there.
Yeah, should be able to take care of it. I'll have to go through there and look at it.
Yeah, nothing fancy. I mean, just you know.
Yeah. Probably have to take a walk through there at some point. I haven't really been in Clear Pond. It's the only spot I've gone through. I mean, I have been there, but not to kind of evaluate what needs to be done over there. But
Yep.
I come in with flail mowers and we cut the parking lot. We typically do that before the season starts, but obviously
Right.
not to the season. But yeah, we can get them in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you can get it knocked down, then, you know, maybe I can get over there and do a little push mowing and get some exercise.
Yeah, we should be able to get it. I mean, we got the mowers we use in the cemeteries, which are a little rougher.
Okay.
The rider mowers, but the smaller decks, we can get into tight spots with those. So, yeah, there's no reason why we can't do that.
That would be great. Great. Thank you very much. And on behalf of myself, I think you guys are doing a great job, and we really appreciate, you know, the work that you're doing and the communication we're having. It's working out great.
Great, I'm happy to hear that. It's I think it'll get better too.
Absolutely.
Time goes, especially once that other position filled. I
Yes.
think once it happens, we'll really be able to tackle some projects and get some things done. But right now it's kind of all limbo. So as we
I know. No,
Yeah.
and we appreciate all you're doing. We do.
Yeah.
Okay. If nobody else has any questions, I think we can release them if you'd like to go, or you can stay and watch the rest of our meeting.
I'm good. I just got out of the other meeting.
Okay. All right. Thanks again, Franklin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Okay. Do we have any other business for the commission tonight? No? Okay.
Nope.
When would we like to have our next meeting?
Phase 4.
What's that?
Phase 4.
Phase 4.
Yeah, the new normal.
The new normal.
Hey, can we start meeting again at the lodge?
I don't know. I guess would have to, I don't know, check with the Board of Health, Town Hall. I mean, we have ample space that we can spread out. You know?
That was my thought.
I think it was like 3 weeks ago they sent an email saying they didn't have a a time frame yet for us to start doing that. I haven't heard
Okay.
anything since then.
All right. Well, I'll try and check with them and see if anybody at town hall has anything they can, any more information they can do us. That being said, whether it's on a in-house meeting or a Zoom meeting, let's see, I'm looking at the calendar, the 29th, Monday night.
That'd be the day, I think the day after possible phase 3, correct? So it might be a good time.
Yep. I think that's actually the implementation. Yeah. Wow. The date is supposed to start.
Keeps us 2-week rotation, so it works good.
Yeah. And we'll hopefully we'll have a new member on board. Maybe 2.
If anybody doing a write-in campaign?
I don't know. I haven't heard of anyone.
Who
Has
would want to
anybody?
do this job?
Not right now. Not me. Not having a lot of fun. But it'll get better. Hopefully in 2 weeks it gets a lot better. Okay, so the 29th at 6:30. Is that okay with everybody?
It's good with me.
And just one side note before we leave, someone did pose a question that they were playing. Someone was playing flag football beside the karate. I don't know of anybody that has permission to play football. Football's on the ban list. I don't know if anybody sees anybody playing football. They might want to tell them they're not supposed to. I don't know who it was. I didn't give anybody permission. I don't think anybody here did. So if you should see that, kindly have them come to a meeting, or at least tell them that right now football's not allowed. Okay, so I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of adjourning the meeting at 7:42 p.m., please signal aye. Joe?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Jesse?
Aye.
Unanimous. We are adjourned at 7:43 p.m. Thank you, everyone.